So much to unpack on the Deebo Samuel front. That's what's coming your way on today's show, as well as the latest trade rumors around Jimmy Garoppolo. It's been a little while since we discussed Jimmy G. But first, if you want Deebo to sign a long-term deal with San Francisco and you never want to see him leave the Bay Area, then hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. You never know, he might tune into the show because sometimes he does, and he might see the like counter on today's show and say, you know what? I've been getting so much love from the faithful, I do want to be a long-term Niner. With that, let's start today's show. Here we go. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of you are gearing up to have a fantastic weekend. Here's all the latest on the Deebo Samuel front, and we'll unpack everything from here. There's a report out there that it's not about the money. There's also another report about Deebo Samuel that he just doesn't want to play for the 49ers any longer. Then Tony Pauline of Pro Football Network said that the Niners kind of lowballed Deebo and offered him less than $20 million per year. First, this is why you subscribe to the channel, because when that report came out from Jeff Darlington that Deebo requested a trade, we went live within minutes. And all throughout the week, we've been unpacking all of the latest Niners news and rumors around Deebo. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below or plug in that link, youtube.com/49erstv. So we start off with this. Does Deebo Samuel no longer want to play for the San Francisco 49ers? Ian Rapoport was on the Pat McAfee show this morning, and he said this on Friday. From my understanding, Deebo basically told them, I want to be traded, don't make an offer. Had the Niners made an offer initially, he'd have a lot more to think about, but they did not make an offer. So he does not have an offer. He told them, don't make an offer, I want to be traded. It didn't seem like there was any animosity of why didn't they make an offer. I think Deebo is fine with it because he wants to be traded. Now, I understand that's a quote graphic, but if you listen to what Ian Rapoport had to say, it seems as though that maybe Deebo is just content with going to another team and severing this relationship with San Francisco. Deebo just not wanting to play for the 49ers is weird, but is it because of a couple of things? The lowball offer or no offer at all? Is it because of the California taxes and the price of living? Because the average annual value of $20 million, let's say in California, as compared to Florida, maybe he wants to go to Miami, Tennessee, without those state taxes, the difference in money is a lot there. Now, as for some of the teams that could be interested in a Deebo Samuel trade, I was watching Get Up this morning, drinking my French press coffee because, yeah, maybe I'm extra sometimes. I just like my coffee to taste good in the morning. Detroit Lions, according to Jeremy Fowler, Green Bay Packers, and the New York Jets have all at least checked in on the Deebo Samuel trade front. But I can guarantee you this. Given the season that he had in 2021, there are going to be a lot of teams who call up John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Parag, as well as Adam Peters to gauge their interest and see what the asking price is for the one and only Deebo. Coming up here in just a few moments, the 49ers, according to other reports, want to keep Deebo on the team because they realize the value that he brings to the football field and in the locker room. Also, we'll discuss whether or not the Niners lowballed Deebo in contract talks. But first, I want to hear from you in the comments section. What does the Deebo situation come down to, and why is this relationship seemingly contentious right now? Is it because of the usage factor? Type U. Is it because of the money factor? Type M. Or do you think that Deebo is just angry with the organization? Let me know in the comment section. Now, I asked earlier for all of you to subscribe to the channel because if you want to stay in the know with all things Niners, we're pushing out videos every single day. But on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, which is quickly approaching 300,000 subscribers, we will be live next week for the 2022 NFL Draft from April 28th to the 30th. Every single round, every single pick, every single day. So make sure you join us, youtube.com/chatsportstv for the most watched NFL draft coverage on YouTube. To that report about the Niners wanting to keep Deebo, Peter Schrager also said something similar, and Kyle Shanahan, according to reports, really wants Deebo back because word is on the street that throughout the week during game planning, Deebo, Kyle Shanahan, as well as Mike McDaniel would meet about the game plan, and the relationship between Shanahan and Deebo is said to be good. Jeff Darlington on the Rich Eisen show on Thursday. I, at this point, just know that the Niners really want Deebo on their team. They really recognize his value to their organization organization, what he brings to the table, they're trying and have been trying to do what it takes to keep him. I don't get the sense that Deebo is going about this with animosity, but I do get the sense that he very much has his feet in the ground on this. I personally don't see him budging. To your point, if some of those factors are things that the Niners can't rectify or remedy, that's a difficult task to overcome. Now, really a lot to get to with all of these reports, and I know a lot of you are like, these are all rumors. Yes, they're rumors, and some of it might be coming from Deebo's agent, Deebo himself, the Niners organization, other teams in the NFL, all in an effort to gain leverage. But when it's coming from some of the top dogs in NFL media, there is so much to really unravel about the Deebo Samuel contract situation as well as the Deebo Samuel rumors. We'll get to Jimmy Garoppolo here coming up in just a few moments, but first, did the Niners disrespect Deebo in contract offers? More stuff coming from Tony Pauline, who has been reporting on Deebo over the last couple of weeks. Multiple league sources tell me the Niners put a baseline contract offer on the table for Samuel, which averages just under $19 million per year. The former second-round pick is seeking a contract close to $25 million annually. If Deebo went into the offseason following the NFC Championship game wanting $19 million, and the Niners offered him at that point, maybe he would have accepted it. Not now, though. Why? There's been a monster change in the wide receiver market. Tyreek Hill reset it. $30 million per year. Devontae Adams right behind him at $28 million. DeAndre Hopkins back a couple years ago signed that contract that pays him $27+ million per year. Stephon Diggs re-up for $24. And when DJ Moore is making $20 million, you better damn sure know that Deebo and his camp are going to demand more than $20 million. So if that's true, that the Niners lowballed Deebo and offered him $19 million per year, I can see why there is a level of animosity toward the organization and why there are contentious feelings from Deebo's camp to San Francisco. Hopefully the Niners offered him that contract before the wide receiver market exploded, because if they went to the negotiating table and said, this is our final offer of $19 million per year, take it or leave it, if I'm Deebo in his camp, after seeing all of these wide receiver acquisitions, new contracts, trades, and contract restructures and extensions, I wouldn't take that deal either, and I'd probably ask out from the Bay as well. 49ers issues with the Deebo contract, it's easy to see why there might be some hesitations if Deebo's asking for $25 to $30 million. He has one elite season of production at the wide receiver position. He's missed games in all 3 years of his NFL career. He plays a bruising and physical style of football. He took a beating at that running back spot with 80 snaps as a back, second among wide receivers in the National Football League, and he's been injured year in and year out. And when you're paying a player $25, $30 million per year, you need them on the field, because given the cap situation with the Niners and across the NFL, anytime you don't have that player when he's making that much money, it severely impacts how you can build out that roster, and there are some concerns about how Deebo Samuel ages. If you're subscribed to the channel, I want you to show me that you love the content that we're pushing out by getting into the comment section and just type 49 to show your love for the 49ers Report as well as San Francisco. And if you haven't hopped on board, we're approaching 60,000 subs. Just hit that red subscribe button down below. Lastly, on today's show, let's get to the latest on Jimmy Garoppolo. Bill Barnwell of ESPN had a pretty interesting Jimmy Garoppolo trade pitch to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you might be asking yourself, saying, you know what, did the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Mitchell Trubisky? Aren't they pretty good at that quarterback position? Really, Bill Barnwell approached this as if the Steelers don't take a quarterback in next week's NFL draft. And then maybe they have Mitchell Trubisky as their backup and they make a play for Garoppolo as long as the shoulder injury checks out. So Bill Barnwell's trade idea, I actually really like it with the value that the Niners get back and what they have to give up. So the Niners receive a first-round pick, 22nd overall, number 20 overall, as well as a third-round pick in 2022, which is 84th overall. So you can still find a really good player there. And then the Steelers receive Jimmy Garoppolo, the Niners' second-round pick at 61st overall. So you get that first-round pick, but now you don't have a second overall pick in that second round. And then you get a fourth-round pick where you can get maybe a plug-and-play depth piece, maybe even a long-term starter as well. So when you look at that trade, my takeaways from it, gimme. Yeah, you surrender a second-round pick, but you're able to get a first-round pick back for Garoppolo. You clear $26 million off your cap. That's approaching $27 million. That allows you to really build out your roster in a variety of ways. Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, maybe some other weapons out there. You're able to get your draft picks selected, and the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe get a better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky, and you don't have to worry about the Garoppolo situation any longer, and you can move forward with Trey Lance. As for what Bill Barnwell said about this trade idea, they don't have the cap space to afford the $25 million remaining on Garoppolo's deal in 2022, and the Niners need draft capital after trading 3 first-rounders for Trey Lance. We can satisfy both of these teams' needs if they manage to split the money, so there's some financial incentive here as well. To get this to work, the 49ers would convert $16 million of Garoppolo's base salary into a roster bonus and pay it immediately, bringing his salary down to a far more palatable $8.2 million. The Steelers would move down 41 picks for the privilege. This deal would value Garoppolo and the $16 million San Francisco is eating as something close to the 27th pick in a typical draft. So really that explanation on top of what I had to say, I think this makes it an even trade, but who do you think wins it between San Francisco and Pittsburgh? Let your voices be heard and treat the comment section like a Sports Talk Radio call-in line. Give me an SF for the Niners or a PIT for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my last poll question for you on today's show, but I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout-out to my boy Corey Moe. See, here at Chat Sports, we're based in Dallas, Texas. Corey Moe reached out to me, and he said, you know what? I've been making these custom pillows and giving and selling them to people. I want to drop by the Chat Sports studios, and I want to give you some custom 49ers pillows. So Corey Moe dropped by and gave me these dope 49ers pillows. I had to give him a shout out here on the 49ers Report, and he's been doing this really since the pandemic started. I asked him, how did you get interested in making these pillows? He said, right around the pandemic, I was diagnosed with this spinal cord issue, and I wanted to find something that would help alleviate the stress, some of the pain, and take my mind off dealing with some of my health issues. So I started making some of these pillows. So if you want to hit him up, he's on Twitter at Boobs28, and then if you want to hit him up on Instagram, he's at JustRelax9 without the U there. His handle on Twitter and IG, if you want to hit him up for some of these custom Niners pillows or other designs, they're down below. They're gas, man. My boy Corey Moe, appreciate you stopping by. Chat Sports reaching out to me. Lifelong fan of the Niner Gang. Big supporter of what we do here on the 49ers Report. It was awesome meeting you. And thank you so much for the pillows. Going to have them at the crib and here at the Chat Sports offices.